What was the question again?
Yo, welcome back, Royal Fam, to another episode of Factual Opinions. I'm here with...
Cameron Harris.
Hey, give your government? Hey, that's her name, not mine. Today's topic, we're talking about beauty standards. Now, what is your take on beauty standards?
I think that beauty standards are super prominent. I feel like especially within like females and girls, I think that it's so horrible because the beauty standard is constantly changing too, and I feel like it's one of those things where it sucks that it exists because it feels like you always have to be meeting like a certain look or appearance to be like attractive or like desired or whatever.
But what's your background in the overall beauty community as far as today in 2020?
I feel like I've experienced like struggles and stuff with like having to look a certain way, especially with cheer and with modeling, and there's a lot of things where you have to look a certain way, you know, and sometimes that type of pressure is really damaging on your whole feeling of confidence and self-worth.
So do you ever think that beauty standards is ever a good thing? You know, coming from a woman's perspective?
It's one of those things where everybody is beautiful in their own type of way, and so the fact that there's a standard of what beauty is, I feel like that's one of those things where it shouldn't really exist because it's making you feel like, oh, if I'm not that certain way, then I'm not beautiful. Instead of everybody trying to focus on one type of standard to me, instead it should be like, okay, how can I find myself beautiful? Like, what is beautiful in each and every person, instead of everybody trying to fit into the same mold.
Right. Now you said one thing, you said the fact that beauty standards exist. Well, the thing is, do they actually exist relatively? And what I mean by that is, I personally believe that no matter who you are, what hype, clout, celebrity, what Miss America, beautiful beauty pageant, whatever, there's always somebody that's gonna find you attractive and unattractive. By that basis, I believe there's no such thing as beauty standards. It's the same thing as money. Money holds no value, but we give it value. So I believe on that standpoint, the only reason why beauty standards are present is because we make them present. Me, for example, I've been called almost cute, asking for a girl's number. It doesn't matter because somebody's gonna find me attractive, somebody's gonna find me unattractive.
Right.
Same for you. There's guys who are gonna find you attractive, there's guys who are gonna find you unattractive.
I feel like it's one of those things where it has to be somewhat prominent, because if you look in the media, for example, on a lot of magazines and on a lot of different like ads and things, you see like a specific type of look over and over and over. And if you keep seeing that type of portrayal everywhere, then in your mind you can start to be like, oh, why don't I look like this? Like, why is everybody gravitating towards this type of look? Like, why don't I see people like me in the media, on magazines, on billboards? And so I feel like when you look at that, you're like, well, it has to exist, because if they keep choosing the same type of person, like, where is that coming from? And like, where is that, like, why is that happening type of thing? And it's true that like beauty is subjective and that everybody has their own like idea of like what is attractive and what isn't, but it gets to the point where it's like you see that same type of look over and over and over, and then you're like, well, there has to be something behind that, like it isn't just a coincidence.
Well, I do hear you, but for example, for me, right? Mm-hmm. I work, working full-time at Client Boost, and people in my area in South Central LA will ask me, why are you going all the way out there to those people? Why are you not in your own community? I'm like, our people don't put ourselves in that situation to actually be in those magazines or to like be in those covers or like those models in there. I'm not saying that it's not true, but it's also a possibility that our people don't put ourselves in that situation to be in those magazines.
It is a possibility, but I feel like at the same time, like chances are there's gonna be somebody, or I don't know. I just feel like when you see that same type of thing over and over, and I think that some brands and some magazines and everything are getting better at like showing more representation and more just like, I don't know, like body types and shades and all types of different things. There are some brands that are going towards that go out of the typical standard of beauty for that type of stuff over and over. You think that you have to fit that certain ideal, I guess. Like even in cheer and stuff, like everybody has to have the same makeup, same hair, same outfit, and it's making you into this perfect image, like I couldn't even wear like my natural hair and stuff, for example, on cheer. So it's like things like that where it's like little things can kind of add up, and you're like, oh, like it is who I am on my own naturally, like still beautiful, I guess.
I can see where you're coming from on that standpoint.
Yeah.
But a lot of what I'm hearing is more so coming from like within, self-aware. As you were saying, like you see certain things and then your brain tends to be like, well, why don't I look a certain way? That's not necessarily society. Well, obviously it is in certain situations. You did mention that people will tell you need to look a certain way, but for majority of what attain from what you said was like a lot of it just within yourself. Like you consistently see this, and that, and so you believe you have to look this, and that. And a lot of that comes from subconscious insecurity, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily like you don't think you're beautiful, but it's necessarily you're not confident in yourself. You're not self-aware. You're not secure in your own self to like go outside and see these people and still not be influenced by all these other things out here in the outside world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you feel like you need to fit that beauty standard in Orange County?
Like human nature, you want people like you want to be taken in, you want to be a part of something, you know? And so I feel like it's one of those things where you want to fit in. But I feel like for me personally, there was a long time where I really felt like I had to look a certain way, be a certain way. But I feel like now, and I feel like even like growing like farther, like as like this day and age, it's a lot more empowerment within yourself and finding confidence in with yourself, like dressing for yourself, wearing makeup for yourself, like doing things for yourself, which I think is really good, which I've like started to do a lot more, and it really helped with my confidence. It's still deep down, there's always doubts and there's always insecurities and there's always that type of thing, which is like unfortunate, but that's kind of just how our society is, and all we can do is try to grow from that, you know?
Yeah, I agree. You know, beauty standards are relative, subjective. To reiterate once again, I'm here to tell you like how to think, not necessarily what to think. There's a plethora of ways to view a lot of situations, and I just want to expand your brain to like really think another way, because I notice there's a lot of people that I know personally that really think tunnel vision and don't really even grasp or think about other, you know, spectrums I think of certain things, right? With that being said, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you have a topic or a controversial, anything you want me to speak on or want to come up in the video, just comment below. Please share. I will leave her Instagram down below in the description. And yeah, peace out.